All right, guys, we got to talk about this main event. Glover Teixeira versus Anthony Smith. What a fight. First of all, this is one of those fights that proves to you that MMA math really doesn't mean much because on one hand, you have Alexander Gustafsson completely destroying Glover Teixeira in their fight, and on the other hand, you have Anthony Smith completely destroying Glover Teixeira and stopping him. And now you have, first of all, before we continue, there's going to be spoilers in this video, so if you don't want to know what the results are, if you've not watched the fight yet, go ahead and watch the fight first before you watch this video. You've been warned. Now let's continue. Glover Teixeira absolutely obliterates Anthony Smith. Again, MMA math. Glover Teixeira gets stopped by Alexander Gustafsson. Alexander Gustafsson gets stopped by Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith gets stopped by Glover Teixeira. It doesn't make any sense. But it also does because that is mixed martial arts. That's why we all love MMA. Because on a given night, anybody can beat anybody. To an extent. In a reasonable sense, right? First of all, when this fight started off, the one thing that I noticed as the fight was going on was that Anthony Smith was fighting a lot different than we've seen him fight in the past. Now, he is more of an aggressive style fighter. He falls more on the aggressive side of things. But for this particular fight, he implemented a style that we have seen a lot, a style that we've talked about on this channel quite a bit. And that is the Jon Jones style of kickboxing. That is the single strike, high variance. What am I talking about when I say single strike, high variance? What I'm saying is a fighter who throws single shots, but then they vary their attack a lot. So when you look at Jon Jones and the way Jon Jones approaches kickboxing, what you're going to see is that he doesn't throw a lot of combinations, right? He starts with the head. He throws a single shot to the head. He attacks your body. He attacks your leg. And then he starts from the leg to the body to the head. And that's how he does it. He attacks every single part of the body, but he does it in single shots. So head, body, leg, body, back to the head. And he does it with a lot of variety. So he's not throwing a lot of the same strikes over and over again. So for example, he could start with a jab to the head. Next up, he's going to follow up with a teep, with a front kick to your body. And then he's going to go with an oblique or front leg side kick to your leg. Then he's going to come right back up to your body with one more front kick to the body. Then he's going to go back to your head with a front kick. He completely varies up his attacks and he keeps his attack constant. It's like a boom, 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 boom style of attack. And that is what we saw from Anthony Smith in this fight. Once the fight started off, he had a very, very educated jab. He kept Glover on the end of that jab and just kept poking at him over and over again. But then he would switch it up and go for like a cross to the head. He would teep him to the body. He attacks him to the legs and he goes back to the head. He was doing that really, really, really well. And I found that to be really, really impressive because it showed me that in losing to Jon Jones, he picked up something. He definitely picked up a thing or two. Now, you can hear that and you can go, why would you think that just because he was implementing single shots and high variance, why would you think that means he's copying Jon Jones? And I will tell you, good question. That's a very good question. It makes sense that you would ask that. But then I would ask you, when's the last time you saw Anthony Smith throw a spinning back elbow? I mean, we know he throws elbows, but when's the last time you saw him throw a spinning back elbow? Okay, let's forget about the spinning back elbow. When's the last time you saw him hand fighting into elbows, wrist fighting? That is the Jon Jones way, because in this fight versus Glover, I believe in like the third or fourth round, before he got rocked with the uppercut, he had his hand on top of Glover's head the same exact way that Jon Jones approached Glover when they fought, almost poking him in the eye too, which was kind of weird to see. When's the last time you saw Anthony Smith fight like that? Now, the thing with this style of fighting, with this single strike high variance style of fighting, is that for it to be successful over a long period of time, you're going to need a lot of stamina. You have to be very well conditioned. And because this is not the style that Anthony Smith is used to, we really saw that start to wear on him, right? Because unlike combination striking, where you can blitz and throw like a few combos, boom, 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 and then you relax, you breathe, you move around the cage, you catch your breath. If you're going to implement the single strike high variance style of striking, you're going to need to keep it up. it's a style that for it to work, you constantly have to poke the opponent as they come in because you have to shut them down. And if you listen to Anthony Smith talk about his loss to Jon Jones and what he learned, you hear him say he was impressed at Jon's ability to shut him down. Every single time he's about to move in, Jon pokes him with something. Jon pokes him with an oblique. He pokes him with a front leg side kick. He pokes him with a shot to the body. And that consistently kept him off rhythm. It didn't allow him to engage Jon Jones. And because Jon was throwing a bunch of single strikes, there was nothing to counter. And so we saw that exact same style with Anthony Smith, but you need a lot of stamina to be able to intercept the opponent over and over and over and over again. And so we saw Anthony Smith trying to keep up a really high pace of fighting, and he was able to do it for like the first few rounds. Like the first and the second round, he was able to keep up that pace, and he was completely outclassing Glover, putting on a masterclass in kickboxing. But then he gassed out. We saw him start to slow down, and that's where Glover and his incredible fight experience started to showcase himself. He was really, really patient while Anthony Smith was blasting him with all those shots, kept his hands really high, kept his head up the center line. A lot of those shots were like grazing. A couple crosses landed clean on him, but none of them really had an effect. His nose was getting busted up and he was starting to bleed from his nose, but he was fine. He was okay. He kept the head moving consistently. And the moment he noticed that Anthony Smith was starting to slow down, he picked up his pace. In round number 3, I believe he was able to rock Anthony Smith, drop him. And oh my God, I thought that was where the fight would be over because that drop was emphatic. Anthony Smith was face down on the canvas, and I thought the ref was going to jump right in and stop the fight. And one of you said that you bet Dominic Cruz would have loved this referee for his fight versus Henry Cejudo because this ref gave Anthony Smith all the chances in the world to survive that rock, man. At one point, Glover was on top of him, pounding him out, even going for rear naked choke submissions, trying to get him out of there. And man, props to Anthony Smith. That man, he truly has a lion heart because he truly fought his heart out, even though he was badly hurt. Not one time did that man give up. And of course, he got battered. He got completely obliterated. In round number 4, he took a beating again. And I believe in the 5th round, he got mounted by Glover again, and he got stopped. But man, overall, the way the fight just shifted, starting off with one fighter doing a really, really good job with a really good tactic, a really good style of striking, but not really having the conditioning and stamina to keep that up as the fight went on. And then Glover, with his experience, being able to capitalize once he noticed his opponent was slowing down and got him out of there. Not bad for an old man, man. Not bad for an old man. A lot of people counted out Glover. I saw a lot of comments about how, Glover was going to get stopped real early. But he showcased that, fight experience is everything. Well, not everything necessarily, but fight experience, the ability to stay composed in there, keep your composure, notice when the tides are turning. That is a very important aspect of fighting. It's very, very important, and Glover Teixeira is very, very good at that. Now, I don't know who the man is going to fight next. It's very, very unlikely we're going to see him fighting Jon Jones anytime soon. But he put on a show tonight. He really, really did, and I really enjoyed that fight. The whole entire card was okay as well. The co-main event was okay. It was kind of an ugly fight. We saw OSP in the heavyweight division for the very first time. He looked, he looked like OSP, kind of sloppy, just all over the place. Ben Rothwell looked awkward as Ben Rothwell always looked. At one point, OSP was able to drop him with a left hook. Look, it was an ugly fight, okay? What can I say? It was a really ugly fight to watch, but interesting nonetheless because we got to see something new. We got to see OSP at heavyweight. I don't think that weight class is for him. I think he needs to go right back down to the light heavyweight division because there are a lot of big boys in that weight class that would do some nasty things to him. Anyways, we are going to end it right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section. Let me know who you guys were who were you most impressed with in this card? What do you think about the main event? Did you think it was going to go the way it went? And yeah, let me know in the comment section, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new one. As always, stay safe.